Hello, I'm Lauren Scott-Lodge, lead psychologist with the Chronic Pain Management Service. In this short animation, I hope I'm going to be able to help you find your zone of pain tolerance and increase your quality of life. It's been shown to help with self-management if there's a way of describing your own particular emotional or psychological or physiological state. One way of doing this is by thinking of yourself as being in one of three zones: the red zone, the green zone, or the blue zone. The red zone is used to describe when your autonomic nervous system is hyperactivated, and sometimes that's described as being in a state of fight or flight. Emotions in the red zone tend to be fear or anger-based, frustrated, or feeling trapped or pressured. Thinking is rapid, image rather than word-based, and it tends to be focused on the worst thing that can happen, also known as catastrophic thinking. Behaviour can be impulsive or overactive. In this state, sensitivity increases across the board, and that includes your body's sensitivity to pain. Someone can be said to be in the blue zone when they're emotionally numbed or low and physically limited. What emotions are felt can be depressed, and thinking can be preoccupied with loss or hopelessness. In this state, people can be listless, fatigued, and low in energy. With feelings like this, people can sometimes become hyper-focused on the pain, and it can feel overwhelming and defeating. Between the blue and the red zones is the green zone. This is the zone of tolerance, sometimes called the window of tolerance. While you can still sense pain and feel emotions, they don't overwhelm in the green zone. There's an ability to notice a wider variety of sensations, a wider variety of emotions too, and to better access your imagination. You can think beyond your actions to the consequences, and you make more conscious choices about what you do. If you exceed your green zone and go into the red, you've crossed your flare-up line. Sometimes that's known as the boom threshold. And if you move into the blue, you cross your crash line or your bust threshold. You might recognise times when you keep going with an activity beyond your flare-up line. Maybe this happens by itself or when you're upset, but people also push beyond their zone of tolerance when they have an urge to just get a task done despite increasing pain levels. And they often describe fighting the pain and not letting it win. Unfortunately, it's likely that the level of activation in the red zone won't be sustainable, and you'll exacerbate the pain so much that you'll have to drop into the blue zone and spend some time there to recover, leaving you open to feeling the pain has beaten you again. It takes some time for you to be ready to go again and get access to the window where you can tolerate pain to an extent, and that's your next good day. But now, because you've had to rest for a long time, you've lost some muscle condition, and your window of tolerance has thinned. And the more you insist on pushing through the flare-up line, the more you train your brain to be in a state of fight or flight and give you the pain warning signal. So you get less and less access to that green zone, to the point where you ping between the red and the blue with no green to speak of between, and life becomes all about pain. You might have heard of the boom and bust cycle. So, what can be done about this? Well, let's look at pacing. The idea of pacing is that you let go of the striving idea of fighting the pain, and you don't allow yourself to get bogged down in suffering and being defeated by the pain. Instead, you use your good awareness in the green zone to tune into your bodily sensations as useful signals to help you find your flare and crash lines and increase your quality of life. In this way, you're making a better relationship with yourself once more. When you get good at knowing the signs of the flare-up and the crash line, you can use this information to chunk your activity down into good quality uptime, followed by good quality downtime. When you're in uptime, you check in on your pain signals using the good levels of self-awareness in the green zone, and you pause the activity when the sensations go up a notch or two, so you can take a break. You don't break for too long, just long enough to let the intensity subside. By nudging the underside of the flare-up line but avoiding going over it, you retrain your brain to expect that you will take its signals seriously so it doesn't have to turn up the volume on your pain. You also increase your muscle tone because you don't have to rest for long recovery periods and become deconditioned. And by good quality up and downtime, we mean doing things that matter to you within your zone of tolerance. When activities are in line with your values, they're more sustainable and satisfying. If you plan a variety of activities, then you can sneak up on and nudge your flare line further north. If you do humdrum same old chores only, your flare-up line learns what you're up to and it gets activated sooner. So good quality uptime needs to be fun and connection and variety and achievement as part of the mix. Good quality downtime needs to be designed to help you recover. Your experience will have taught you skills and tips for helping to manage pain. Use these before flare-up or before getting bogged down. Short bursts of your preferred coping tricks or new skills that you'd like to try to bring down the intensity a couple of notches can be applied here. So over time, the green zone will widen, and while there still may be pain, it's no longer your whole focus. Now everyone gets flare-ups despite their best self-management strategies from time to time. When you realise you're in the red zone, here's some things you can do to flip yourself back into the green. Stop and pull back. Give your brain all the information it needs to become present again. Increase its feelings of safety. Use all your 5 senses in turn to name what you notice and anchor yourself to the present. Slow down. Breathe. Put words on things and emotions to help you switch on your wider thinking again. These skills can be cultivated, but they need practice. If you find yourself crashed or busted, use good quality recovery. Anchor those 5 senses again and name what you see, hear, feel, smell and can taste. Let go of some of your muscular tension and then move gently. Do something for a minute or 2. Do self-care. Hydrate. Make sure you've eaten and you're washed and you're warm enough. It takes a bit of trial and error to find your zone of tolerance. By adopting this approach to managing your pain, over time you can expect more and more good days and for life to be less dominated by your pain and to be able to get on with the things that matter to you. Remember, striving and pressure is the enemy, as is doing nothing and feeling defeated and submitting to your pain. Promoting safe feelings, taking the time to be present and self-aware, and taking your body's signals as useful information is the key to good self-management.